Yes, Mataji, we're all set with King now.
Hare Krishna, everyone. We'll get started with the prayers. Om Agya. Let me share my screen. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruhu Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shrirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be reading mantra 5 from Īśopaniṣad. Tadejati tannaijati taddūre tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyāsya bāhyataḥ. Tat, this Supreme Lord, Ajati, walks, Tat, he, na, not, Ajati, walks, Tat, he, dure, far away, Tat, he, who, also, Antike, very near, Tat, he, antah, within, asya, of this, sarvasya, of all, Tat, he, who, also, sarvasya, of all, asya, of this, bāhyataḥ, external to. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but He is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet He is outside of everything. Anybody like to read the purport? Okay.
Can I go, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Purport. Here is a description of some of the Supreme Lord's transcendental activities executed by his inconceivable potencies. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. He walks and he does not walk. Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. But in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power. With our limited fund of knowledge, we cannot accommodate such contradictions, and therefore we conceive of the Lord in terms of our limited powers of understanding. For example, the impersonalist philosophers of the Mayavada school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature. But the members of the Bhagavata school, adopting the perfect conception of the Lord, accept his inconceivable potencies. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Accept his inconceivable potencies and thus understand that he is both personal and impersonal. The Bhagavatas know that without inconceivable potencies, there can be no meaning to the words Supreme Lord. We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. Sri Īśopaniṣad refutes this argument by declaring that the Lord is far away but very near also. The abode of the Lord is beyond the material sky, and we have no means to measure even this material sky. If the material sky extends so far, then what to speak of the spiritual sky, which is altogether beyond it? That the spiritual sky is situated far, far away from the material universe is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15.6. But despite the Lord's being so far away, He can at once, within less than a second, descend before us with a speed swifter than that of the mind or wind. He can also run so swiftly that no one can surpass Him. This has already been described in the previous mantra. Yet, when the personality of Godhead comes before us, we neglect him. Such foolish negligence is condemned by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, where he says that the foolish deride him, considering him a mortal being. He is not a mortal being, nor does he come before us with a body produced of material nature. There are many so called scholars who contend that the Lord descends in a body made of matter, just like an ordinary living being. Not knowing his inconceivable power, such foolish men place the Lord on an equal level with the ordinary men. Because He is full of inconceivable potencies, God can accept our service through any sort of medium, and He can convert His different potencies according to His own will. Non believers argue either that the Lord cannot incarnate Himself at all, or that if He does, He descends in a form of material energy. These arguments are nullified if we accept the existence of the Lord's inconceivable potencies. Then we will understand that even if the Lord appears before us in the form of material energy, it is quite possible for Him to convert this energy into spiritual energy. Since the source of the energies is one and the same, the energies can be utilized according to the will of their source. For example, the Lord can appear in the form of the Archa Vigraha, adejati, supposedly made of earth, stone, or wood. Deity forms, although engraved from wood, stone, or other matter, are not idols, as the iconoclasts contend. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else like to read?
I can read, Mataji. Hare Krishna. In our present state of imperfect material existence, we cannot see the Supreme Lord due to imperfect vision. Yet those devotees who want to see Him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in a so-called material form to accept His devotees' service. One should not think that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. They are factually worshipping the Lord, who has agreed to appear before them in an approachable way, not in the archa form fashioned according to the whims of worshipper. This form is eternally existent with all paraphernalia. This can be actually felt by a sincere devotee, but not by an atheist. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, the Lord says that how He treats His devotee depends on the devotee's degree of surrender. The Lord reserves the right not to reveal Himself to anyone and everyone, but to show Himself only to those souls who surrender unto Him. Thus, for the surrendered soul, He is always within reach, whereas for the unsurrendered soul, He is far, far away and cannot be approached. Should I continue?
Sure, Mataji, you can do one more paragraph.
Okay. In this connection, two words the revealed scriptures often apply to the Lord: Saguna with qualities and Nirguna without qualities. are very important. The word Saguna does not imply that when the Lord appears with perceivable qualities, he must take on a material form and be subject to the laws of material nature. For him, there is no difference between the material and spiritual energies because he is the source of all energies. As the controller of all energies, he cannot at any time be under their influence as we are. The material energy works according to his direction. Therefore, he can use that energy for his purposes without ever being influenced by any of the qualities of that energy. In this sense, he is nirguna without qualities. Nor does the Lord becomes a formless entity at any time, for ultimately he is the eternal form, the primeval Lord. His impersonal aspect or Brahman effulgence is but the glow of his personal rays, just as the sun rays are the glow of the sun god.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else like to read?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. And I think Neena Mataji also raised her hand. So after that, Neena Mataji read. Go ahead, Mataji. Giraja Mataji.
When the child saint Prahlad Maharaj was in the presence of his atheist father, his father asked him, "Where is your God?" When Prahlada replied that God resides everywhere, the father angrily asked whether his God was within one of the pillars of the palace, and the child said yes. At once, the atheist king shattered the pillars in front of him to pieces, and the Lord instantly appeared as Narasimha, the half man, half lion incarnation, and killed the atheist king. Thus, the Lord is within everything, and He creates everything by His different energies. Through this inconceivable powers, He can appear at any place in order to favor His sincere devotee. Lord Narsimha appears from within the pillar, not by the order of the atheist king, but by the wish of his devotee Prahlada. An atheist cannot order the Lord to appear, but the Lord will appear whenever and wherever to show mercy to his devotee. The Bhagavad Gita 4.8 similarly states that the Lord appears in order to vanquish non believers and protect believers. Of course, the Lord has sufficient energies and agents who can vanquish atheists, but it pleases him to personally favor a devotee. Therefore, he descends as an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotees and not for any other purpose. Should I go one more, Mataji?
Oh, I think we are almost there. Okay, Mataji, I'll ask Neena Mataji to read.
Sure. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji
Hare
Dhanavastanam.
Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. In the Brahma Samhita 5.35, it is said that Govinda, the primeval Lord, enters everything in his plenary portion. He enters the universe as well as all the atoms of the universe. He is outside in his Virat form and he is within everything as Antaryami. As Antaryami, he witnesses everything that is going on and he awards us the results of our actions as karma phala. We ourselves may forget what we have done in previous lives, but because the Lord witnesses our actions, the results of our actions are always there, and we have to undergo the reactions nonetheless. The fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Everything is a manifestation of his different energies, like the heat and light emanating from the fire, and in this way there is a oneness among his diverse energies. Although there is oneness, however, the Lord in his personal form still enjoys unlimitedly all the pleasures enjoyed minutely by the tiny part and parcel living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji. Any reflections anybody like to share?
In Sharmila, so I really like the emphasis Prabhupada says the real reason why the Supreme Lord appears, right? Although it is to not just help the devotees but also annihilate. So he's emphasizing that uh, It's therefore he descends as an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotees and not for any other purpose. So the more important reason is that than the other one.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody else like to share? Okay, then I'll share some of the thoughts which I have, and we can have a discussion. It's open for discussion. So mantra 5. So far we saw that we are trying to understand about Ishvara. How do we live with Ishvara in harmony? How is that we are part of that Ishvara, and how do we live along with that as being part and parcel of Ishvara? Here in this context, and last time we are trying to understand how do we spiritually understand this Ishvara. Who is this? How is this? So Srila Prabhupada, he has given such beautiful purports. Here in Mantra 5, it is continuing with this discussion describing that how the Lord has inconceivable potencies. He walks, but he does not walk. He is near, yet he is far. And the third one is, he is within everything, but yet he is outside of everything. How is that even possible? He's favoring those who are approaching him, but he doesn't favor those who don't want to be. So it's as per their own desire, the devotee's desire, or somebody who doesn't want to understand Lord, it's difficult for them to understand. It also illustrates that Lord's inconceivable spiritual nature at any time. The Lord can be present both within the material and the spiritual world. It is said that material world is probably 10 or 15%. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned even some places that 10% of the spiritual world. So how does it that he's even there inside of the material world and he's there in the spiritual world? He's walking along with all of his devotees in the Golok Vrindavan, but as a deity, he's just standing there, he's not walking. In this picture, it says so beautifully that the Lord is there as he's laying in the causal ocean, but he's also playing with in Golok Dham. So he's present both places. And how do we understand this? It's inconceivable. Another aspect of where Lord comes as his deity and is also so merciful that he's coming as his own holy name. He's giving that opportunity for us to understand him. But yet, sometimes we feel it's just another sound, it's just another thing. How is it different? But for somebody to understand that this is Lord's energy, this Mahamantra is nobody but Lord himself. That is another illustration given here. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that even somebody just says Ram, then also he gets spiritual benefit, because it's that sound potency where Lord holy name has been given by Lord Chaitanya. Further, the Lord's inconceivable spiritual nature. At any time, the Lord can be present both within and the spiritual world. This is a repeat from earlier point. He is near but yet very far. How is that? That somebody who's just meditating and trying to reach Krishna or trying to reach Vishnu, he is meditating for a very, very long time. Yet when Prahlad Maharaj said, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj that is he there in this pillar? And he said, yes, he is everywhere. Immediately Lord Narasimha appeared. And Narasimha is not one of his incarnations, it's Krishna himself. So somebody who's surrendered, a surrendered soul will know that he's very near, he's within the heart. But for an unsurrendered soul, he's very, very far away. He may not be able to understand the potencies. So the contradictions which are given are, he walks, he does not walk. Far away, yet so close. He's inside everything. Like as a Paramatma. He's inside each and every soul. How is that possible? There are millions and trillions of beings in this world itself, but he is present as Supersoul in every particle, every atom. So, but he's outside because he's there in his spiritual world. He's always present. Wherever his devotees will call him in Vaikuntha planet, he will be there. So these are contradictions. These are Krishna's potencies. Another aspect which is discussed here is about Achintya-bheda abheda tattva. Simultaneously, he's there, but he's not there. In this, there is impersonalism, meaning that somebody may think that, okay, sunlight, if it comes, that itself is sun. But there's actual sun, and Krishna is there as a person. So this is there. There is oneness. There is oneness in the essence. There is oneness in understanding, oneness in unity. But yet there is difference, where Krishna is a person. He's there in Golok Vrindavan. But when somebody says that, no, I don't think God can be described, I don't think God is there, it's very hard to describe him. Yes, with our limited sense of understanding and knowledge, it is hard for us to describe Krishna. But when he himself describes himself, he will tell that what are the great potencies Krishna has. And we should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. Exactly what Prabhuji said. Śrī Īśopaniṣad refutes this argument by declaring that Lord is far away but very near also. He is the eternal form and primeval Lord. His impersonal aspect or Brahman effulgence is but the glow of his personal rays, just as the sun's rays are the glow of sun God. So how beautifully it is described in this mantra that there are so many differences. How is that even possible? So any other thoughts, any other questions that anybody has? Yet we are part and parcel of Krishna. So everything that Krishna has, we also have a spark of it. All the affinities, all the emotions, or anything that is coming in us is small part of Krishna. Like in a fire, the whole fire is there, but the spark goes, which is also part of the fire. So that way we are also part of that fire. So here we are trying to understand Krishna's potencies. Go ahead, Prabhuji, please.
So there was a reference to Nirguna, right? The other thing I like the explanation given by Prabhupada. So often there is argument by Mayavad philosophers that, oh, his Nirguna is formless and all that. So it is actually, there is a real meaning behind that Prabhupada is explaining that, even though their material nature emanates from him, he is not touched by them, right? In that sense, he is Nirguna, not like he doesn't have any of the qualities and things like that, right? So that's what my understanding was.
Yes, it's how we perceive him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, nice. Another good point, Prabhuji. Very nice. Neena Mataji, you had wanted to share something?
Yes, Mataji. The Nirguna and the Archa Vigraha is what I liked, how it was explained, because ultimately Nirguna, he is Nirguna, yet Archa Vigraha also is what he's trying to say. Like he's far away, but he is very nearby to us also. And the supporting slokas from Bhagavad Gita, 9.11, fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be.
Yes.
It's very nice metaphors from one book to another to understand this concept very clearly.
Yes, very true. When multiple scriptures confirm the same point, then our faith becomes stronger.
Correct. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Girija Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I really like the point where, like even in Narsingh Dev's uh, paragraph, we spoke about he's inside, he's outside. Uh, I like what even Kunti Maharani in her prayers, she says, Antar Bahir Avastitam. So he's there inside, he's there outside. How is that even possible? So there are, like, all these stories link so beautifully and talk about the same thing in so many different ways. And for somebody to sit and analyze it, you will just get mesmerized more and more by how much he can do and how much we know about him.
So true. And this specific book is one of my favorite because it clarifies so many things we can't even think of that these kind of doubts I might have had. But yes, it is clarifying so many things so beautifully.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing such a wonderful mantra.
Yes. Thank you to Srila Prabhupada for providing such beautiful purports.
Yeah, if everything were written in just the Devanagari script or Sanskrit and were given as a book, we hardly could have understood any of it.
Exactly.
He knows the literature behind it, the concept of Shastra. So he puts everything nicely for us to understand from different books and teachings and his mentors and I like Prabhupada's lectures a lot, Mataji. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes, this book, it is said that so many are become devotees after going through this book. So we'll continue next time with uh, how what is that knowledge that we should have materially and spiritually in order to approach Ishvara. So far we understood, yes, we have to live in harmony and we have to understand the what should be our understanding, what should be our vision. There are Krishna has unlimited potencies, and how do we approach? So we'll continue next time. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. शिला प्रभुपाद